What's up, guys? Welcome to my makeshift shop for the winter. It's just my storage unit. It's a 10 by 20 storage unit that I've had for the past 2 or 3 years. I just decided to finally put some LED lights in and a little fancy space heater rutter for the winter. It should keep this space somewhat warm so that I can get some stuff done. Today's been about 40-ish degrees. And the space heater's only been on for about like half an hour, and it's kind of toasty in here now. I had to take my sweater off. And then I threw up those LEDs up there. They're shop lights from Home Depot. They were like on sale for like $4. So I figured, why not? Anyways, today I'm going to be changing up my steering wheel and quick release setup. So I'll go ahead and show you what I have now, and then I'll show you the new stuff that I have in some pretty boxes back here. So this is just what I have right now. It's the Works Bell hub right over there. That's going to stay. I still need that. And then it's just, I don't know if you guys can see it, just NRG quick release with a Nardi deep corn suede racing wheel. I do like the steering wheel itself. The suede's really nice, but as you can see, I really am not a huge fan of like how concave the steering wheel is. It actually feels way too close to me. But that will be fixed with the new Sparco wheel and Sparco quick release that I bought. So here are the goodies. So in this guy, we just have the quick release. It's a little bit simpler of a design. I like it actually a lot more than the NRG. It has a little bit more of like a race feel to it, or like a race car feel. But I never really was a huge fan of the NRG products. And it's like super like heavy duty. Like I wish you guys could feel this. It feels like a good like 3 pounds, which is probably not like good for weight savings, so to say, but it feels really sturdy. Like I'll have peace of mind that I'm not going to snap anything. And it's a little bit more of a secure design. So just pop that off. And then you have these splines kind of over here. So you guys can see that. It's all greased up from the factory. I'll probably have to keep greasing it. Not like crazy often, but like I'll have to just make sure that it stays greased. And then just to slide on, same principle, you push back, slide it in, let go, and then it'll find its center and lock into place. And there's no way. There's a little play. Meh. Ah. Wow, I feel stupid. That's why there's a little bit of play. It's because it wasn't all the way in. So, I'm dumb. Anyways, pretty easy. All the way out. Press it. It'll line up, and then you have to make sure that it gets pressed in all the way. And it's nice and sturdy. So there's that. Also comes with the hardware that you'll need. Some hex screws, washers, and locking nuts. And then this is, I believe, the Sparco 353. Some of you guys probably saw it on like the unboxing video that I did. But this is very nice. So, as you can see, it's not as concave as that Nardi steering wheel. So for myself, it'll be a little bit better. It'll put my hands and arms in a more neutral or comfortable position for myself. And then it doesn't have a hole, drilled out for a horn. I actually don't have a horn on the car, so it doesn't matter. You should just rev at people until they get an idea to move out of the way. And then it's also a flat bottom, which is a little bit for comfort, race car feel. If I didn't have the quick release, it could make it a little bit easier to get out of the car, but because I'll have the quick release, I don't have to worry about it. I just like the look of the flat bottom. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the old stuff, and then I'll mount the steering wheel onto the quick release, and then I'll mount the base of the quick release onto the Works Bell steering wheel hub adapter, and that'll be it. It's actually pretty easy. Should take me no more than like half an hour to do. So for this specific setup, to install the steering wheel onto the quick release, you're just going to need an 8mm socket or wrench for the locking nuts that go on the back, and then you're going to need a 3mm Allen key for the bolts for the hardware that they provide. And then also, I do want to kind of point out. So as you can see, like the orientation on the steering wheel, you have the three holes for the hardware up top. So you have the first one up top here at the 12 o'clock position. That correlates to the quick release 2 and onto the Works Bell hub. So this position over here, the first one, the 12 o'clock, you can see that it's right where the Sparco logo is. So we just have to make sure that when we're mounting it, since this locks in a certain position, you can put it in any position, so to say, but it'll only lock with the Sparco, so to say, the logo at the 12 o'clock position. So we need to make sure that we mount the steering wheel onto this portion of the quick release properly, so that our steering wheel sits straight, with the wheels being straight still. So just going to pop this guy off, put that over there to the side, and then just start this process. It should be fairly easy. Put that. It comes with a washer too. You go put behind, and then the locking nut. So I'm just going to do this kind of by hand for right now. So I did realize So to make my life easier, I ended up getting just an 8mm ratcheting wrench, just because the way that the socket fit on the back here, it kind of, I don't know if you guys can see, sorry, it's probably crappy. It sat at an angle, so I really didn't want to like strip anything or scuff anything up, so I ended up just grabbing the 8mm going on back and then tightening them all down. Probably doesn't, I mean, it doesn't really matter how you do it. I just finger tightened all of them first, then went around slowly snugging up the rest of the hardware, and then I finally did kind of like a quarter turn on all of them. I really don't think it's going to go anywhere once it gets bolted in and anything like that. So yeah. So I just popped off the steering wheel, tossed it to the side over there, and then so this hardware over here, they're from the previous owner. He just used some 8mm bolts to connect the quick release to the hub. So I'm just going to pop that off, and then that'll be done. And then I'm going to have to reuse this hardware, these Allen head screws, whatever you want to call them. I'm going to have to reuse them for the base of the quick release so that it goes up onto, so it mounts up to the hub. All right. So last step is to mount this guy up. So pretty easy. I did run into an issue with the Nardi steering wheel. The hardware, two of the bolts didn't come out. They're pretty tight on there. So I'm only going to put these on temporarily. I'm probably going to run to a hardware store tomorrow and get some brand new hardware. Some of these are actually stripped out too. So not, I mean, not, they're not stripped. I meant, well, I guess the heads are a little bit stripped, so to say, just from, I guess, the previous installation by the owner. He wasn't super careful. God damn. Struggle City here. Can't get it in. That's what she said. Anyways. So yes. Super easy. I know it's not as hard as probably swapping over from OEM. Damn it. Don't tell me I lost another one now. There it is. So this is the finished product. I think it looks great, a lot better than the Nardi. Plus, it not being as like concave is so much better. Like I can already feel it. Like I'm firmly pressed against the back of the seat, and my hand feels, well, my one hand feels in like it feels normal. It feels comfortable. Before, like my elbows were a little bit more bent because I was kind of closer out. I was almost like right here with both of my hands, but now it feels much better. I mean, it's a little difficult to do with one hand since I'm recording with the other, but there we go. Nice and easy. I guess the only thing that I'd say that I don't like is that the spline is kind of greasy, so I'll have to be careful getting in and out of the car so I don't get greased up. But yeah, just gonna replace that hardware tomorrow so that it's all done. So pretty cool. Let's see if I can do this one-handed. Okay, there, it's all the way on. Sweet, ready for next season. So that install was pretty easy. It wasn't too complicated or anything like that. The most complicated part was probably those two bolts that got stuck on the Nardi steering wheel and NRG quick release. Overall, I'm really happy with the products. The steering wheel feels great in my hands. It finally feels like it's in like a comfortable position. It doesn't feel like unnatural, so to say, now that it sits a little bit more flush with the steering column rather than being so close to me. And then I'm also really happy with the quick release. It's super like heavy duty. I like the fact that even though you slip the steering wheel on, you kind of have like two safeties. You have that initial lock, and then you have the second lock that locks it in all the way in place. So that's kind of like peace of mind. Even like, God forbid, I don't put the steering wheel on 100%. The steering wheel will still stay on to the quick release hub. It won't just pop right off. So that's a little bit nicer compared to the NRG. There have been a couple times, thankfully, I was just kind of messing around, you know, like pulling the car out of my storage unit and stuff like that, where I didn't put the quick release on 100%, didn't notice it, and then I went to turn, or I went to kind of like pull back a little bit for some reason, and it just popped off. Might have been user error. I don't know. Anyways, I hope you guys really liked the video. Please comment down below if you guys have any questions about anything, about any of the products or anything like that. And also comment if you have any suggestions on like future videos that I should do. And then if you haven't subscribed, please do. And yeah, I mean, I got a ton of projects planned for the winter. Some more videos for you guys. So stay tuned until the next video. Take care.